Hey, it's Medicinal Survival. Today we're going to talk about mullein. Stay tuned. Alright, so mullein, it prefers to be in, waste places, people call them. I don't think anything's waste at all, but disturbed places. Places where they've been deforested, so there's no trees, and it's not cut. So all the plants aren't killed by it being mowed and all that stuff. So everything's just overgrown and kind of like what this is behind me, Mullein really thrives in those areas. It thrives on the edge of tree lines. So it thrives next to roads a lot, which is where I am. You're going to hear a ton of cars, like I'm sure you already do right now. Right behind me, behind this patch of trees, is a freeway basically. So I get some roads in front of me too. I have a road behind me going this way. I have a road in front of me going this way, and a road from the freeway along right here. So I'm in like a little island, like a triangle kind of. So I'm actually just visiting some family and decided to take a little walk around because I knew it would like this area, and I found a couple good examples of mullein here, so I want to talk about that right now. Alright, so mullein has a 2-year life cycle and it makes a basal rosette like this, where it has a single taproot, so it's called a basal rosette. The first year, okay, so it has the woolly leaves, the real fuzzy, really soft, and it doesn't have the long stem with all the flowers on it. So this is the first year. So the first year is just the basal rosette. The second year is the same thing but more pronounced, and it has the long stem in the middle with the yellow flowers on the top. Alright, so this is what it looks like close up. Really beautiful. The leaves have a very light green to them. They're almost gray. I mean, they're still green, but it's just a very, very light green. Oh, wood sorrel. I'll grab a little of that. See if I can take it without ripping the root out. There we go. Aha. Okay. So, this is what it looks like close up the first year. Alright, now, second year's growth. You can see it still has the basal rosette at the bottom. As the stem goes up, the leaves still do the basal rosette, basically the rosette around the stem as it goes up, but they're just closer. And eventually it leads up to a flower stalk on top with bright yellow flowers. Okay, so here's a close-up. See, it has beautiful yellow flowers. Alright, now this stem is what I make my hand drills out of. Now you can either cut it green, I usually cut it towards the bottom, cut it green and dry it out. It works that way. It also works when these burn up and die off. Basically, they burn out. This plant, when it reaches, for my area anyways, in the northeast, when it reaches high 90s to low hundreds consecutively, for like a week straight, this plant, instead of looking like this, like beautiful leaves and amazing flowers, is all brown and crispy. It's completely burnt out and dead, and they'll stay there all year until next year. They're very woody, very persistent, even though they have a soft pith, so they can be turned into a hand drill then, or they can be cut green, either way. But if you wait that long to harvest anything from this plant, you're going to miss out, because the flowers will be long gone and the leaves won't be at their maximum place in growth like they are right now, because they'll have dried out from all that heat. Alright, so I'm right next to the road now. What an amazing example this is. Look at these flowers. Absolutely incredible. Cool thing about this one is that there's 3 growing right next to each other. They're all flowering at the same time. These are just getting started down here. All these flowers are ready to bust open. All of these. And there's a bunch of them. And this one is already busting open. Amazing. That's a really cool example of mullen right there. You can harvest one, right, and still leave the other two. Perfect. Alright, so standing right alongside the road now, a small side road. Sometimes this happens, where a single stalk, single stem, will turn into multiple stalks with flowers. I mean, this one is huge. It has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This actually has 10 flowering stalks off. It's huge. It's probably, oh, it has to be a good 7 feet tall if I'd have to guess anyways. Monstrous. Amazing. You don't see those too often, but they do definitely happen. Alright, so check this out, right next to the freeway. Look at all that mullen. It's got to be a dozen and a half there, I bet. Alright, so I'm going to collect some of these flowers. Take a couple off of each. Okay, and I'll just grab some of these leaves as well. Okay, so here's what I collected. I've got, you know, like maybe 5 leaves or so, and a good handful of the flowers. I grabbed some that were unopened as well. Okay, so here's our medicinal book, Peterson's. Go to page 130. You'll find mullen. Has some pictures, the leaves, stalk, the flowers on it. Okay, so the leaves and flowers are expectorant, demulcent, antispasmodic, diuretic. So let's back that up. So expectorant basically means that it removes mucus from your body. So if you make a tea of this, or if you smoke mullen leaves or the flowers, you know, you're going to get a runny nose, things like that. You know, you're going to be blowing your nose. It breaks up congestion. It's an expectorant. Okay, it's really good if you have like chest colds or like nasal infections and things like that. You know, where like your nose like just isn't really clearing out, and you keep on blowing it, trying to clear it out. You know, then you want to take some mullen, and that will help break that up. Okay, demulcent basically means that it's soothing. You know, it's locally soothing. Antispasmodic is antispasms, basically, right? Which can go for like coughing, you know, coughing and things like that. Diuretic means that you produce more urine. Okay, and it's good for chest colds, asthma, bronchitis, coughs, kidneys infections. Leaves are poultice for ulcers, tumors, and piles. And the flowers soaked in oil can be used for eardrops, you know, if you have earaches, ear infections, things like that. Now, the leaves are high in mucilage, which soothes, that's the demulcent part, it soothes inflamed membranes. So it's really very, very powerful medicinally, because it's antiseptic, anti-tumor, sorry about that, it's antiseptic, anti-tumor, antibacterial. I mean, it's very amazing. You know, even the stalks were used. I have a couple other books to talk about the stalks were used as well, like for back pains. This says for fevers and migraines. I also have a different book that talks about back pains. So it's a very very powerful plant when you know, you just you have a common problem, you know, like you have a stuffy nose. You know, it's very common when you're in the woods to be blowing your nose a lot, you know, whether it be from the smoke or whether it be from being outside and you're not used to waking up with dew on you. You know, it's like when the temperature drops down past the dew point, moisture condenses So suddenly everything is just soaked, right? Everything has like a sheet of water on it, and that includes you. You know, if you're laying in your hammock or just on the ground or in your debris hut or whatever the case is. So things like that tend to mess up your lungs, you know, and your sinuses. So this is a great plant to go to help alleviate those problems. Well, this has been Mitch and Nita Survival. Appreciate your views, your comments, and your support. See you in the next one. Take care.